Moments inside Citizens Bank Park this season. During every lengthy baseball season, there are plenty of highs and plenty of lows, as well as the moments you just want to forget about. We've all been along for the ride through the walk-off wins and the heartbreaking losses. After the many paths taken, we have arrived at the final home game of 2013. But before we throw a pitch, there is some other business to take care of. So many mixed emotions when it's the final home game of the 2013 season. It's always cool when you get a chance to see one of your favorite Phillies out at the gates here at Citizens Bank Park. But then you look at this being the finale between the Phillies and the Mets here at Citizens Bank Park, and you also know that there may be some new things happening on the horizon.
We are ecstatic as an organization to have Ryne Sandberg lead us on the field over the next several years and for the foreseeable future. Just sat down a couple minutes ago to talk and let the players know, and the energy in the room was extraordinary.
That comment all by itself brought a smile not only to Ryne Sandberg's face, but also to Ruben Amaro Jr.'s face as the announcement came earlier today that Rhino will be the manager of the Philadelphia Phillies moving forward.
Well, everybody around here is really happy, Tom. You know, you get to know this guy. You really respect what he did on the field. We got to see him as a great player for so long. And now that he's been around here as the interim manager for the last few weeks, got an idea of all the really, really good things that Ryne Sandberg can bring to a baseball team. Look back at some of the background. He's the 52nd manager in franchise history. See, when he was named interim manager back on August the 16th, he signed a 3-year contract today with a club option for 2017. I think one of the neatest things about what happened today is that you don't have to call him interim manager anymore. And for his reaction, he's down there in the Phil's dugout with Greg Murphy. Murph.
All right, thank you very much, Wheels. Here with Ryne Sandberg just a few minutes before the first game is officially being the manager of the Philadelphia Phillies. I guess at some point, maybe over the last week or two, you had a feeling that this day would come. When did you know that that this would be the way it played out?
Actually, late afternoon yesterday. You just never know in baseball, but you know, what I liked was what was going on improved play on the field, and I liked the way that the players were rallying around each other, and the never quit attitude. So all that felt good, and so just yesterday got word of the possibility of getting something done, and so I'm ecstatic about the opportunity and the chance to do it right here in Philadelphia.
I know you still have 8 games to play on the field, including today, but now you can also kind of look ahead a little bit and look forward to 2014. What will be the first order of business for yourself, for you and Ruben, do you think?
Well, I think first of all, get together and put together a hard-working coaching staff. We have a group of guys here in the coaches' room, very qualified guys, professional. They do a great job. Ruben and I are going to get together probably during this road trip a little bit and after the season about putting together a staff. From there, I think it'll go into possible players and ideas for next year leading forward. Maybe a little more evaluating of what's going on here and the possibilities with the players that have played here the last month. So it's all good, and I'm anxious to be part of that and work hand in hand with Ruben and the front office and the scouts and everybody. So I'm anxious to do my part.
A lot of decisions to be made, including a baseball game to be played today. Ryne, thanks for your time. Congratulations and good luck. Tom, Wills, we'll send it back to you.
All right, Murph, thank you very much. And obviously on Fan Appreciation Day, this is something you see normally at a Phillies game, but maybe a little more extensive as the Phillies say goodbye to the best fans in Major League Baseball. The starting pitchers today, Carlos Torres for the Mets. He'll be opposed by Cliff Lee. What a year Lee is putting together. A sub-3 earned run average. He's set to make his 30th start of the season. Well, it is, as we said, bittersweet. Coming to the ballpark one last time. Yeah, you can walk away with some great trinkets, a lot of surprises, a lot of prizes here at Citizens Bank Park. But it is the final day of baseball. We'll be back with the lineups at first pitch right after this. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Toyota. Toyota's nationwide clearance event is going on now. Toyota, let's go places. By Xfinity, the official HD triple play provider of your Phillies. By Citizens Bank, where good banking is good citizenship. Isn't it time you experience good banking? And by Independence Blue Cross, the most preferred health plan in the region. Independence Blue Cross. Live fearless.
I'd like to thank you for your support this year. Today, we went over 3,000 mark in attendance, and that's something to be really proud of. You guys are the greatest fans in all of baseball. Again, thank you, and we're looking forward to seeing you in Clearwater.
Well, there's Chase Utley, who is one of the leaders of this ball club, getting a chance to thank the fans who have come out today, and for every fan out there in the Delaware Valley that has supported this ball club over the years. Pretty neat to see Chase grab the microphone and come out off the top of his head, and with those words saying thanks for coming out and for supporting this ball club here in 2013. Cliff Lee has finished up his warm-up tosses. He's ready to go. Let's take a look at the Mets starting lineup. It's brought to you by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. Leading it off in left field, Eric Young. Wilmer Flores, the third baseman, bats second. Then Daniel Murphy and Andrew Brown. Lucas Duda, the first baseman, bats fifth. Juan Lagares, the center fielder, sixth. And the bottom third of Record, Tovar, and Carlos Torres. And they'll face Phillies lefty Cliff Lee. Lee, who's making his final start here at Citizens Bank Park, looking for his 15th win of the year.
One of the hottest pitchers in Major League Baseball, Tom, in this month of September, 3-0 with a 1.88 earned run average. He has just been tremendous. 3 straight starts, he's pitched 8 innings.
So Eric Young starts it off. He's 2 for 9 in the series, and the first pitch is on the outside corner. Nice way to get things started.
There are the numbers on him, and it's a fun day to pitch here, too, because the wind is blowing in crazy from left to right. It's going to knock fly balls down. In fact, the outfielders are really, and infielders are going to be handling some parachutes out there today. Here's your scouting report on him, and we always put in there about controlling the tempo of the game. He does that as well as any pitcher in Major League Baseball when he is on.
See his career numbers against the Mets. And he throws 3 pitches right around the plate to start things off against Eric Young, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Help for a hitter today. I'll be towards the right field line. Right field line, that area. See the flags blowing from the northwest.
There's a cutter out of the chute, 1 away, and 1 strikeout for Lee. He went over the 200 strikeout mark in his last outing. So that's number 202.
Well, it's time now for our Nissan Keys to this afternoon's game, and Cliff Lee to go out there and prevent a sweep. Phillies certainly don't want to lose the last 3 games at home. And from everybody around here, and Tom just mentioned with Chase Utley and just showed Chase Utley thanking the fans, we'd like to thank everybody for another great season. And even though on the field it wasn't what we all wanted it to be, in the stands it was.
Well, the fact that the Phillies once again went over 3 million fans, just remarkable. The great work that the folks do down at the ticket office, the folks that handle the season ticket plans and the group sales and things like that. I mean, it's just there's a lot of talented people that are part of this.
A lot of behind the scenes people that nobody knows anything about, and they don't mind that, but they do a great job. That guy right there was certainly rewarded this morning for what he has done and what they figure he has the potential to do here.
There's a call, strike 3. So Ryan Sandberg's watched Cliff Lee strike out the first 2 batters here in the top of the first.
Well, the pitchers have to think, oh, we like this strike zone today.
Well, Phil Cuzzy took a little extra time.
As I said, the pitchers have to like if it's that kind of strike zone. Hey, they probably got to go somewhere today, too.
Ron Culp's at first, Chris Guccione over at second, and Mark Rippiger over at third. Here's Daniel Murphy, and he takes a strike at the knees.
Didn't want to lose that game last night, of course, but they certainly did not want to play a day-night doubleheader here. That's what the Washington Nationals have to do with the Miami Marlins because of last night.
Murphy's had a good series. He's 4 for 8 with 4 runs scored. He's part of the reason, one of the main reasons, why the Mets won the first 2 games.
And David Wright, who's not playing, thankfully.
The 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. He got him. He just struck out the side to begin the ball game. Strikeouts 1, 2, and 3 in his final home start here at Citizens Bank Park. What a great way to begin the last game here at South Philadelphia. The Phil's offense could do today against Carlos Torres. Their lineup brought to you by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. Leading it off in center field, Cesar Hernandez. Jimmy Rollins bats second. Chase Utley hits third, followed by Carlos Ruiz and Dominic Brown. Darren Ruff, the right fielder, bats sixth. In the bottom third of Ashe, Franzen, and Cliff Lee. And they'll face Torres, the 30-year-old from Santa Cruz, California. 3-5 with an earned run average of 3.39. The Phillies have hit him, but he also pitched a heck of a game against him the last time he faced them.
Overall, he's done a really good job for him. He figures as a starter and a reliever. He's done both throughout his career. And the Phillies beat him on Franzen's walk-off home run as a reliever this year. And then as a starter, he really shut them down in the game. You see, he's allowed 13 home runs. You see the pitches that he's allowed them on, and no surprise, they'll be fastballs a lot of times.
Hernandez shows bunt, takes a strike. It's 0-1.
So the location of that was a really cool graphic. Here's a scouting report on Torres. 4 pitches. He's going to try and sink his fastball, and that's what he's done in his career as a starting pitcher.
Well, you see the blue is the fastballs. And
right.
Those are sweet spots.
Yeah, and you see where they were, and where he ranks as far as home runs, he's not going to be way up on the home run list. Of course, he doesn't pitch that much, but he does throw. That's quite a few home run balls for a number of innings.
Little bloop out toward third, caught in foul territory by Flores. And there's one out. If you're a pitcher, you can't really lay it out any better than what Cliff Lee did in the top of the first.
No, and he used everything too. He went out there and threw his cutter, slider, threw a changeup in there, used his fastball, his curveball.
That'll bring Jimmy Rollins to the plate, hitting over 400 in the last 10 games. And it's 0-1 to Rollins. Rollins 8 for 18 on this homestand. Lucky McDonald's Phillies home run jackpot contestant is Terrence Rosario, Middletown, Delaware. Phillies hit a home run in this ballgame, and Terrence will win $400. One ball, one strike. Two balls, two strikes to Rollins. Inside, 3-2. Rollins average at 252. 31 doubles, 6 home runs, 2 triples. Trying to get to 40 extra base hits. He should pass that. He's also trying to get to 150 hits, and he should be able to do that too. Here's the 3-2 pitch. He taps it foul.
He'd like to get one more home run.
One more home run.
That would be put him in rare air as far as career numbers go. But very few guys hit a home run when they're trying to hit it.
Chase Utley's on deck. He's had a great homestand. Grounder foul again. He stays alive. Torres was a 15th round selection by the Chicago White Sox back in 2004. He went to Kansas State. He went to a community college. He went to San Jose State. Inside, ball 4. So Rollins is aboard. They do appeal whether he swung or not, and they say no. So there's the first base runner of the day for both teams. Terry Collins, his team will head to Cincinnati. Kind of an odd series to end the year. Not end the year, but to come to to begin the last week of the season. They play Cincinnati, then they're home against the Milwaukee Brewers.
Well, they're in the pennant race for 3 days starting tomorrow. That gives everybody a little shot of adrenaline when it happens, when you're way out of it, the way the Phillies and the Mets, of course, are this year. But you play those were fun games when they played Washington and played the Atlanta Braves. This week they play Atlanta. It's not the pennant race. Although the Braves may be real serious if they're still trying to get that best record.
Trying to get that best record. Their magic number is still 1 to clinch the division.
Yeah, they looked like they were going to clinch 2 weeks ago. And then Washington got really hot and didn't lose many games, so the number didn't go down real fast.
Chase Utley 8 for 21 on this homestand. He's hit in 5 straight games. His average at 278. 18 home runs, 68 runs batted in. Decent numbers considering he missed a month of the season. And he takes low, 1-0.
With that nice hole on the right side to shoot it through right now. Maybe get a first and third, get a quick run. They've been trying to play situation baseball. That's something next spring training you can really look for that. Talking to Rhino about it. He's a stickler on it, and he says we're going to do it right in spring training too. Not that they didn't do it right before, but they're really going to pay attention to it.
Rollins goes. The ball is chopped toward the middle, and Murphy gets to it. His throw, and it misses Chase Utley. The tag misses Chase Utley. And now they're saying that Rollins got in his way. He's saying that it hit him. It'll be a base hit for Utley, and Rollins is out. He's saying there's no way that ball hit me. He's just standing on the second base bag. He's saying, I'm going to wait for Ryne Sandberg to come out and argue this. I have to admit, I didn't see it hit him, but I was looking at the fielders more than anything else.
Sure, you're watching the play right there, and it looked like he avoided the baseball. Luke Jones taking his sunglasses off to talk to Sandberg.
So they hit him right in the heel.
Well, let's see if we can see it. Looks like they're playing a little hit and run there. Well, he was right in front of the ball.
Yeah, we couldn't see whether it hit him or not there. Ryne Sandberg says, nope. I'm not going to say, I can't agree with you on that one.
Especially with my guy who never argues, to the point of sometimes you wish he would more. Oh, that didn't change direction.
Hit him. Nope,
No, never
did not hit him.
Jimmy knew it never touched him. Right here. Doesn't change direction. That's what you look for to see if the ball changes direction. There was none of that. That's terrible.
He's had a very difficult series, not only behind the plate but also in the field there.
It's one of those things we were making something up, just leave it alone. Nothing happened.
Well, here's how they scored. It's a base hit for Utley, and it's 4 unassisted for Daniel Murphy to retire Jimmy Rollins. And now Carlos Ruiz with a runner at first base. Ball's in the dirt, gets away from Recker. Utley goes to second.
Yeah, and you don't know if he's going to throw the same pitch or the same thing happens, but you have second and third and one out. Rollins doesn't argue about things. That's the thing. Sometimes you wish Jimmy would argue more.
Though. He's like, I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving.
We always say that about Jimmy. He's so mild-mannered. You think, well, you wish he'd argue more. And managers can't come out and stick up for a player that doesn't argue. And then later you say, well, maybe I could have come out there.
Just by those 2 replays, the ball looked like it was, well, I don't know, 3 or 4 inches above the foot.
Right. Like we said, the thing you look for there is a change of direction. And there was no change of direction.
In the dirt again. Recker blocks this one. 2-0 to Ruiz.
Probably should have those sunglasses off when he made the call.
I was thinking that too. I mean, I know everybody wears them. There's no sun though. Ruiz hits one off the end of the bat out toward left. It's playable for Young. And he'll make the catch a few steps from the line, and the side is retired. No runs, 1 hit, and 1 man left. We'll go to the second inning. It's the Mets nothing and the Phillies nothing. Sunday night. Lee could be amazing anytime he takes the mound, and he took it to the next level against the Miami Marlins. He pitched 8 dominating innings and struck out 14, his best since 2011. And of course, he allowed no walks. All this while eclipsing the 200 strikeout and inning plateau this season. That was just the beginning. He then added a personal best 3 hits, 4 RBIs, and his first career triple. It was a very special night for Cliff, and it's brought to you by Independence Blue Cross. Live fearless. Oh, there's Jimmy Rollins, who went out to his shortstop position. Chris Guccione was in that same area. Rollins didn't really say too much. He did go out shaking his head because he probably had already seen the video replay, which Guccione did not have a chance to see. Utley went over 2 and said something. Not that it matters, because we go to the top of the second in a scoreless game, and Andrew Brown will lead it off for the New York Mets.
Well, he knows he missed it now. As you say, they see that stuff so fast. And, they can do it in a polite way.
Brown hits one out toward left field. Dominic Brown ventures back and makes the catch.
It is really going to get knocked down here today. Ruiz didn't hit his hard, and that thing almost came back to the infield. And that baby right there was hit decent and got knocked down. And there's Chase Utley going to go out. I think he missed that one.
It's.
Well, the guy, the umpire feels he made the right call, and he'll find out later he didn't. They're human, but that's one of those ones you're almost making something up because you're just looking for something that didn't happen.
Right.
Is what I guess what I'm trying to say.
I understand what you're saying, and I don't know if I don't know if sometimes they think that, but in his mind,
that's what
happened.
I mean.
Yeah.
He thought it, but why even looking for that? It missed him by a lot.
It was an odd play, though, because the shortstop, Tovar, he missed it, basically.
Yeah, I mean, there's certain things on certain plays you really look for it. That's right there. You're just looking for too much.
1 ball, 1 strike to Lucas Duda. He's 0 for 1 in this series, and he dribbles 1 foul. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
I think you always have to give those guys a benefit of the doubt. I know sometimes some people don't want to do that, but it's not an easy job.
No.
And it happens. We have the replays over and over from all these different angles. It's fast out there when it happens, really quick, and for the most part they do a pretty good job.
Little bloop out toward left center field. Hernandez a long run, and he gets there.
He could play a lot shallower today, and they're going to have to realize that pretty soon.
2014 schedule features a home opener Monday, April 7th at 3:05 against the Milwaukee Brewers. Interleague games versus the Jays, the Mariners, and the Angels. And a number of 3:05 games on Saturdays. Full and partial ticket plan information is available right now by calling 215-463-5000. One thing we do know is that Ryan Sandberg will be the manager in 2014.
Nice morning with Ruben in there introducing Rhino. That he's very careful when he speaks. He has a purpose for everything he says, and he thinks about it, and he was very good with the media. He did a great pregame show on radio. He was nice to sit down there with Murph in the dugout. The guy has a plan. We'll see what happens.
Ground ball toward the middle to his left, Rollins, and he throws out Lagares. A quick inning again. 1-2-3 go the Mets. 6 up, 6 down for Cliff Lee, and that'll take us to the bottom of the second.
every day to make the Citizens Bank Park experience a great one. Well, you know what? They also go above and beyond the Call of Duty. You see the check presentation down there on the field. That's part of a group of the game day employees that work both the Suites, the Diamond Club, the Hall of Fame Club. They donated $4,000 this year, $16,000 over the last 4 years, raising money, just selling snacks in their lunchroom. All the money going to Phillies charities. Just another thing that the game day employees here do to make it just a great place to come to work every day. So congratulations to this group. Just one of the groups, guys, that do things around the ballpark that we wanted to mention. Harold Palmer, one of those guys. He runs the sweet treats, as they call them, just selling stuff in their lunchroom and raising $4,000 a year for 4 years and donating that to Phillies charities. Just a terrific, terrific endeavor. We thank them for that, and certainly we thank all the game day employees for everything they do. And I know the fans enjoy their experience here at Citizens Bank Park, and it's because of those folks, guys.
Yeah, Murph, it's a great story. In fact, Harold, who's sitting right behind you,
yep.
I remember he was saying that when they started it, they never imagined that they would be able to raise this kind of money. But to raise an average of $4,000 per year just on
granola bars.
On granola bars.
Sake. It's 50 cents a treat, and but all the game day employees know about it and they support it. And as you said, you saw the check presentation there. That happened last week. Originally, they donated the money to Jamie Moyer's foundation, and after Jamie moved on from the Phillies organization, they've turned it over to the Phillies charities. David Montgomery was there to accept the check. It's just awesome to think. You don't have to do that when you come to work each and every day, but these guys do. These men and women that work here do, and we thank them for that.
Well, congratulations to Harold and to Maureen Gillespie and to Dennis McGeehan and for Sue Steck and Bruce May, and even Harold's 15-year-old daughter,
That's
Alexa
right.
Joe. They're all part of it, helping to facilitate it, and it's a great organization and great venture on their part. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Dominic Brown. And he takes outside.
See a lot of those people get together. You think some of them went back to the veterans.
Oh yeah,
and there are even people here that went back to Connie Mack Stadium. Still.
Yeah, we were handing out magnet schedules today, and bobbleheads. And one of the ladies that was down there with us, as Brown walks, 30 years, and I know that she's not alone in that length of service. Second walk issued by Torres. And here comes Darren Ruff. Darren, 7 for 18 on this homestand. His average is at .260 with 14 homers and 28 runs batted in. No balls and 1 strike.
Can I jump in?
What's new?
Well, yes, you can. Outside and low. How you doing, Ruben?
I'm doing okay.
It was very good awareness of your part to realize you were on the air live then when you just said, can I jump in?
Well, getting ready for my next job. I think there's a few people on the air here might think that might be my best move.
Well, obviously a busy day here at the ballpark. One that you certainly seemed like, and I think everybody else felt really good about, that you were able to take the interim tag off Ryne Sandberg's managerial duties and make it full time.
Well, I think Ryan deserves it. I mean, the body of work that he's had in his career as a minor league manager, as a major league coach, and now some of the opportunities he's had this past few weeks. I think he's handled things very well, and I think he's the right guy for the job.
Well, he was saying that yesterday was when you and he really started talking about this. And I know you said today in the press conference that you were true to your word, that when you hired him with the interim tag, that no decision had been made at that point, that you did want to observe, and you had other folks that wanted to observe to see how things went. And as you pointed out today and just now, there were certain things that he was able to do exceptionally well in the first couple of weeks.
Yeah, I think in a lot of ways he had automatic credibility, obviously as a Hall of Famer, but also as a person. A lot of the guys in the clubhouse that had him with the Lehigh Valley Club, they knew what he was about. He's kind of a no-nonsense guy who he likes to have fun on the field, and he likes to have the players enjoy themselves, but at the same time there's work to do on the field, and he believes in that. And that's the thing that I think sets him apart from a lot of people.
There are one or two things you zeroed in on that you really wanted to see or not see?
I think his interaction with his staff. I think the interaction with players, obviously. I just wanted to see how people took to it and how he handled himself. This is a Hall of Fame player, but not. He doesn't act like a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
I don't know that how to really any other way to express it. He's a humble guy. I think he's at the same time very confident in his abilities, which is a nice combination. Particularly when you're here in this city and there's a demand for excellence, and certainly I'll demand it from him, and I know our fans will.
I think you probably suspected that he would be able to garner the attention of the younger guys that he has managed before. I think it's been intriguing to watch him interact with the veterans, the core group. But I think, as you said, he had the pedigree coming in of being a Hall of Famer. So there is credibility there.
Yeah, I've had some chats with some of our veteran guys about what Ryan kind of brings to the table and has been bringing to the table, and I've got some very positive feedback. Again, as I said before, the players don't make decisions on this in this organization. We do. At the same time, there is a credibility issue, and if people don't believe, if people that are working for you don't believe in what you're doing, then it makes life very, very difficult, and I think they do.
You and I grew up here. We understand what it's like here. And you'll hear a player say when they come, I know what it's like. They have no clue until they get here and play here. Do you feel that he has a clue on what it's like to be a manager in the East Coast?
I think he does, and that's a big element, Wheels. I mean, there's no question. There's a different type of a demand. Oh, I hope that carries, but it won't.
The wind is playing tricks on everything that's hit today. Dominic Brown on his way to third. That was a pretty good arm. A little off mark. And there are 2 outs.
I think that there's any question. I mean, obviously he played in this league a long time. He played obviously for the Cubbies for a long time. He knows what it was like to play here in Philadelphia, having played here. And that's obviously Chicago's a big city, a little different city, but I think he knows the demands of the sport. He has a knowledge of what it's all about, and just like many of us here in the front office, I mean, he has a huge demand on himself. I mean, he believes in himself, and he believes in his work ethic, and so do we.
He's also preached, and I think we noticed this right out of the chute. He's preached, and I thought Charlie did a great job of this too. But he's preached the team aspect of it. It's all about the name on the front, not the name on the back, and making sure that his players understand that too.
Very, very important to him, and the work ethic very important. Again, it's about having fun. It is a game, but at the same time, it's also about winning baseball games. This is we're in a production sport and a production business. He fully expects our players to produce.
Franzen lines one toward left center field. That's going to be in for a base hit. Brown will coast home from third. Franzen on his way to second. He better hurry, and he'll get there. He slides in safely, and it's 1-0 Phillies here in the second. Well, he's hit against Torres since he was a kid, so it seems to be appropriate that he drives in the first run of the day.
That's one of Rhino's favorites.
Evan Franzen, yeah, it is. And I think the sentiments are mutual, too.
Yeah.
Okay, you got a little slider there or cut or something to just hit it out in the left center field. Ryan, the thing about Ryan Sandberg, Ruben, you've been around. When he was a player, when he was here, he barely even, his eyes didn't even come up. He was so shy.
That was funny.
Yeah.
And to see the way he's changed, his nickname was Gabby when he played because he didn't say anything.
Right. And he was always a quiet guy. I was, not only did I bat boy here in Philly, but I bat boyed in Chicago when he went over there. And my dad was coaching there. And a lot of stories about Rhino. I mean, it's hard to get a word in edgewise when Bo was in the middle of the infield too. But the fact of the matter is, he is he has really come out of his shell in a lot of different ways. He's always had a little bit of this quiet confidence. He's been, he was deemed as like kind of one of those semi-timid players, but he wasn't timid when it came to being on the field and competing. But it's very clear that he has a message to send to the players. He sent the messages immediately as the interim manager, and I know that he's going to continue to send those messages and demand certain things from our players that I think are necessary, particularly when you're trying to develop young winning players.
I know that usually what happens in the clubhouse stays in the clubhouse, but you shared today the energy that was in the clubhouse when the announcement was made to the players. Can you share what that looked like to the audience?
Yeah, you know, I got to give some credit to the people in the PR department, Greg and Bonnie. They were great about suggesting, you know, things were happening so rapidly this morning that we had to kind of speed things up. Got a chance to talk to the players, and for them to react the way they did, with really applause after he was named, and we let him know that he was going to be named. That was really neat. It was good energy, and it felt great walking into the press conference having that kind of at your back.
All right, Ruben, we appreciate you joining us up here, and we'll talk to you down the road.
Absolutely, guys.
All right, Ruben Amaro, our guest up here.
Because as a player, I think I wasn't strong at all at communicating. I was focused on catching the ball and hitting it, and it kind of stopped there. And a few conversations with who had the bag with the shortstop. But that was all part of going to the minor leagues and aging a little bit and maturing. And I think raising 5 kids in the house, all teenagers at once, I think the communication skills really developed then.
I think the fact that he's able to laugh at himself and also to understand, even at his age, that there were things he needed to improve on, that says an awful lot about his character, too.
I'll tell you a good story about Vuk with him, and they became so close when they went over to the Cubs, but Rhino was up for that month as a rookie that he talks about when he got his first major league hit, and he just, as I said, he wouldn't even look at you. I mean, he'd have his eyes down all the time. So sitting on the plane one day, Vuk comes and sits down. He says, "He's too quiet." And I said, "What are you talking about?" He says, "Sandberg, he's too quiet." And I said, "Well, what does that mean?" He says, "I don't know about him." Well, then Vuk goes over the Cubs. Rhino goes over. About 3-4 years later, I said, "Is he too quiet now?" He said, "I missed on him." And Vuk didn't miss on many guys. He wasn't saying that his ability wasn't there or there wasn't something about him, but he just thought he was just too quiet, especially to play in this market.
Well, I think to play, it turned out to be okay. And as Rhino said, that he felt like he needed to go down to the minor leagues for himself to be able to manage and open up a little bit more, because he felt like that's something he needed to do.
Never forget one of the first times when he showed up in spring training a few years ago, and someone in the stands had run into somebody down there, and they were a big Cubs fan and a Phillies fan too, and they said, "It would mean the world to me if I could get Ryne Sandberg to sign a ball." I hate to ask people to sign anything. I said, "All right, I'll try." And I walked up to him and I said, about the Cubs. He says, "Look, let me tell you something right now." He said, "Anytime you ever need anything, don't hesitate to ask."
Mm-hmm.
It's the kind of guy he is.
Well, the Phillies were very fortunate to have Charlie Manuel, because he was an unbelievable communicator with the fans, with us, with the members of the media. So I think we're all looking forward to this opportunity too, because it seems like it's going to continue, and that's important when it comes to handling a clubhouse and everything else.
Charlie was as good as anybody will ever say. I've been around a long time, and Jim Fregosi was a master at it, and Charlie was unbelievable the way that he handled the clubhouse and let them handle the clubhouse. The players handle it. This guy will find out you know, what his method is, but he has a plan, and he is really organized.
Well, one away here in the top of the third, and Wilfredo Tovar will be the batter, 22-year-old, who the Mets just added to their roster over the last couple of days. He was down with his winter ball team, taking ground balls, doing some cardio. And when Ruben Tejada went down with a broken leg, they needed to have somebody else come up to be an extra infielder, so they brought him. And he hits one sharply to short. First major league at bat, and 6-3 on the putout.
And do us a favor, please don't ask us to get Ryne Sandberg to sign a ball.
I was thinking that.
That was a one-time thing.
Time now for the Dodge Stump the Fans trivia question. Log on to Phillies.com, go to the fans section for all the information, and please submit your answer on the subject line. Wheels, the question is, who was the last Met to win the National League home run title? Answer will be revealed in the 7th inning. Carlos Torres is hitting under 100 this year, and he takes strike one.
Two choices.
Well,
what do you think? Is it an obvious one?
No.
Okay. That's Cliff Lee right there.
He's
First,
throwing a lot of strikes.
He pounds the strike zone. And you can get away with some fly balls today, too. That's been the one thing you look at his numbers this year. He's thrown a lot of home run balls, but they're mostly solos. Well, today, you've already seen the way the ball will get knocked down here today because of that northwest wind.
And a called strike three. 4 strikeouts for Lee. 9 up, 9 down. He is one time through the order without allowing a base runner. We'll go to the bottom of the third. The Phillies up 1-0. Bottom of the third, and the top of the order will come up for the Phils. Against right-hander Carlos Torres. Nice crowd here this afternoon. The Phillies go over the 3 million mark in overall attendance. That is an incredible milestone to continue to do that. There are different features that are going up on the board thanking the fans, and rightfully so. And now Carlos Torres will face Cesar Hernandez, who popped out his first time up. Cesar's cooled off a little bit in the series against the Mets.
It's our fault.
Well, we were sort of singing his praises to everyone who was listening.
Yeah. That's what you get.
First pitch is up high, 1 ball and no strikes. But Cesar's still hitting .310.
A double last night in the middle of that rally they threw up right before the rain just made it impossible to play anymore.
Inside and low, 2-1.
This guy really likes to cut it in on left-handed hitters. Remember that from the last time in that game that he pitched up at in New York. He was really good in that game. They gave him a lead and he ran with it. There's another one. He's not a guy who's going to throw a lot of changeups down and away. He's done it. He did it early to one of the left-handed hitters, but for the most part, it looks like he's running that cutter or slider, whatever it is, in on them. Maybe he'll go away after that.
That one's back toward the middle, off the mound, and a base hit for Hernandez. He'll take a turnaround first and hold up there.
Well, that was another one, but he just didn't get it inside that time. That one stayed out over the plate. Watch the location of it. He's trying to back foot him again, but that one just comes. That looked more like a slider than a cutter because it had some loop to it, and that one came down into the hitting zone.
Jimmy Rollins walked his first time to the plate. And that's a strike. Rollins walked and then was retired on a ball back toward the middle. And Chris Guccione, the second base umpire, said it hit his foot.
But it didn't.
But it didn't.
But it did. In your scoreboard.
They have run a couple of times. They've put the hit and run on a couple of times.
Yeah, one time
the first few innings
they did hit and run, and then the last time they ran it was on the count on a 3-2. So they varied it a little bit, but they're putting runners in motion.
1 ball, 1 strike, and a throw over.
Big difference between a hit and run and running on the count. Oh, did he think he swung at that?
They're saying that he foul tipped it.
Oh.
I don't know if looking at the ball is going to be able to decide it. Phil Cuzzy's pointing to it and he says to Jimmy Rollins.
Not his day.
Yeah. Jimmy didn't say anything.
So he may have just heard a slight tip.
That's interesting. I wouldn't think that the bat would do anything.
Well, it makes a mark on it. The
yeah,
dark
I guess
bat.
it would.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see right there.
Yeah,
yeah,
he did.
Yeah, did hit it.
Good call
by the catcher.
Yeah.
Broke his bat. Soft ground ball to second. Murphy flips to second for 1. The flip over to first is in time. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Mazda. We believe if it's not worth driving, it's not worth building. By Citizens Bank, where good banking is good citizenship. Is it a time you experience good banking? And by Nissan. Choose Nissan today for great offers on our most innovative lineup ever. Shop at choosenissan.com.
Big difference between hit and run and running on the count. On a hit and run, the hitter's supposed to swing to protect the runner. When you're running on the count, you're running to stay out of something that could happen or make something happen on it. But if there's a 3-2 count, you have to just decide whether you're going to swing or not, depending on where the pitch is. When it's a hit and run, you're supposed to be swinging technically to protect that guy who's running, and that's a big difference in the two.
Out of play, 0-2 to Utley.
One thing Ryan Sandberg's done in a little bit of time that he's been here, he does like to do that stuff. When you have a team that maybe grounds into double plays or swings and misses a lot, you get caught in between on whether you're going to do it or not. But they've been doing it quite a bit.
changeup.
Swing and a miss. Got it with a breaking ball, and the side is retired. So a couple strikeouts for Torres through the first three. The Phillies do have the lead, though, thanks to a single off the bat of Kevin Franzen in the second. So move to the fourth. Sarge, you're liable to have a few swings and misses, even mustard on your best clothes. No need to worry. If it's a spill or worse, WB Mason has an all-star selection of cleaning products to mop it up.
Okay.
Sarge, we go to the fourth inning. Phillies lead at 1-0. Cliff Lee has been right around the strike zone.
Yeah, well, legit number one, obviously. Can always tell, too, when things are bad. Those number ones continue to do what they should.
Ground ball over the head of Cody Ashley, and there's the first hit of the day. So Eric Young's aboard. Wilmer Flores is coming up. Well, here are the folks who make the games look so good here at Citizens Bank Park. All part of our production team. The guys who handle the cameras all around the ballpark. There's Andy Rabel. He's made the most plays at his camera spot. Rich hasn't had a whole lot of opportunities for them. Eggy is behind him. He's doing the visitors feed today, Bill Egbert. And these guys do some tremendous work. As technology has grown, so have their abilities to handle that technology. And it's not an easy job, and they make it look very easy.
Yep.
We always say that there's just not, we can't do any of this without any of them. Swing and a miss by Flores. No balls and 2 strikes. Well, obviously we couldn't. They could turn the cameras off.
Well, you're right. But to run the cameras, be able to handle those vicious ground balls and live balls coming in there and still give you a shot.
Mm-hmm. The other part of it too is like what you saw today with the players giving out stuff. I mean, they were out there for that. They were down in the press conference getting footage of that. They do all those things. That ball is lined down the right field line, and that's going to be in for a base hit. Young, boy, he bit it a little bit, but he's going to go to third, and he'll stop there. I wonder, Sarge, if he started back to first and then didn't touch second again, but still went to third. Utley confused the heck out of him on that play.
Yeah, well, he always does that. I'm surprised. Now, take a look at this now. Utley's looking up now. Guess what Young's going to do? He doesn't know where the ball is. Now he did. Well, looks like he might have touched that, though, with his toe. That's just a no-no for any of you base runners. What you have to do on that, you pick up that third base coach. You're looking at the infielder there. They're going to deke you. You're not going to know which way to go. He does it as good as anyone. You can give him that Academy Award for that for sure. Might have scored on that if he actually kept going.
Absolutely. Well, we just talked about the camera work, and that was their work right there to find what Utley was doing and also to paint the picture. No balls and 1 strike to Daniel Murphy. He thought that pitch was outside. Murphy struck out his first time up. So 2 in scoring position for the Mets here in the 4th.
Yeah, I thought that was actually a hit and run, but if it's a hit and run, Young will look in to see where that ball is and hit, and he's automatically there at third base, maybe even more. Maybe that was just a straight steal.
Murphy's been red hot with runners in scoring position. He's reached a career high at home runs, but he's also hit .355 over his last 24 games. And a call, strike 3. He saw 3 pitches and didn't like any of them, but Phil Cuzzy did. So that's 5 strikeouts for Lee.
All right, take a look at this right there on the black. He's out using some paint here tonight.
And we look at our Mazda leaders, Sarge, strikeouts. Strikeout per walk ratio, Cliff Lee at 6.28. Look at Lee looking around thinking, can I pick one of these guys off? Andrew Brown fly to left his first time up. It went out toward the track. Curveball, whacked foul, and it's 0-1.
He had a pretty good swing on that curveball.
So you're going to throw it to him again?
I hope he sets him up with it with maybe a fastball or that cutter.
He's going to throw it to him again.
That might have got whacked if it had been a little further in. A little hanger that he threw there on the outside part of the plate. Well, you would think, yeah, this is really a guessing game, but for the good guys there, the good hitters, they adjust on the breaking ball.
Ground ball to shortstop. Young's going to come home. And the game's tied at 1. So it'll be an RBI and a ground out for Andrew Brown. Over to third goes Flores. And it's a 1-1 ball game. Toyota Major League Scoreboard. A whole lot of runs being scored at Pittsburgh. But for the Pirates, it's unfortunate because it's the Reds that are scoring them.
Yeah.
7 in the first 2 innings. Chris Heisey, he's a local guy. You see the standings as far as the wild card is concerned. Cincinnati and Pittsburgh, they have the 2 top spots, but they're still jockeying for the National League Central too.
Cincinnati's brought up this kid, Billy Hamilton.
Oh, can he run?
11 for 11. I mean, actually, he has won 3 or 4 ball games himself.
Daniel Murphy is getting on Phil Cuzzy, the home plate umpire. Murphy was upset about the pitches that were called on him. I thought all 3. I mean, I thought all 3 were pretty good.
Well, certainly that strike 3 was good.
Curveball on the inside corner, and it's 0-2.
It's a good pitch.
But Sarge, getting back to that Hamilton kid, I mean, he's been a revelation for him.
I was going to say that in coming up, you would think a young kid, when the race like that, if they win 1 game for you, that would be great. This kid has won with his legs 4 games, and that is tremendous when you think about being in a pennant race.
And he's done it basically as a pinch runner,
absolutely,
not as a player.
Yeah, end up starting today, I believe. But you're right, pinch runner. So that means you have one chance to be able to get in there to do your thing there. And I tell you, he's done it. He's got that running that game, and boy, he doesn't waste a lot of time. Good pitch.
Bird ball, 6 strikeouts for Lee. The Mets do tie it up. He struck out Murphy and Duda here in the top of the 4th, so now it's time for the bottom of the 4th. Provider of your Phillies by Chevrolet. Visit your local dealer at ChevyDealer.com. And by the Pennsylvania Lottery. Benefits older Pennsylvanians every day. Well, we appreciate that very much, and thank you, all the viewers out there. We appreciate it more than you know.
Yep.
Look at that little guy. Fanatic puppet. Yes, they say some kids are afraid of the Fanatic. Sarge, not that little guy.
No.
Maybe that size Fanatic he's not afraid
Yeah,
of.
I think in the very beginning when they see how big he is and running out there. But they warm up to him.
Carlos Ruiz will lead it off here in the bottom of the 4th. Flight out to left his first time up, and he takes a strike.
Had a pretty good approach. Then you could tell there off balance. He had just stayed with it. That same ball goes up the middle or the right center. That's the one you want to swing at, though, because it's up in the zone.
Down the right field line, out of play. And it remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. Carlos is one of the big topics that was mentioned several times during Ryan Sandberg's press conference today, because he is a free agent at the end of the year, and the Phillies have to figure out the catching position, whether it's Carlos or if they have to bring somebody else in from the outside. Swing and a miss and a high fastball, 1 away. 3 strikeouts for Torres. The video game that puts you in the owner's suite is now available free on your iPhone and mini iPad. Build your stadium and make the decisions to guide your team to the World Series. Download MLB Ballpark Empire free today. Data and usage rates may apply. Dominic Brown is the hitter. He walked his first time up and scored a run.
You know, it talked earlier about the players taking on that whole persona there of the manager. And one of the things that Sandberg implemented right away that showed them that they really meant business is being there on time. It has a lot to do with his preparation in the way that we did that kind of back in the day. Didn't have stragglers coming in. If you're supposed to be ready at 2 o'clock, 2:30, we didn't have guys coming in at 2:35 and so, and you can bet he's going to do the same thing with the guys here. As a matter of fact, he already has, and most of the players being there at 3. And that means dressed and then at the appropriate time be on the field and not afterwards. And he knows by doing that, guess what? Team will come a lot closer. And not only that, the respect value for Rhino even goes up more.
I think he just wants to get them onto the field, too, when they're home. You know, it's 3 o'clock at home, 3:30 on the road. They have to be at the ballpark. Dominic Brown has struck out. 4 strikeouts now for Torres.
Filthy slider.
Sure was. And there are 2 outs.
Take a look at it. That ball there, not much you can do, but tip your hat there to the pitcher when you get a pitch like that. That's when it's even a little difficult to even follow that one off. Every now and then, you got to give that pitcher a little bit credit. They have to eat too.
Darren Ruff grounded out to third his first time up, but it's 0-1.
I know one thing, though. He'll have that hit and run there a little bit more than you've seen in the past.
Back at third, Flores. He's had problems with his feet. No problems there. Phillies go down quietly. We've completed our first 4, our last game here at Citizens Bank Park.
That went to the minor leagues for 6 years and worked their way up. I thought it was necessary. It was also the only job that was offered at the time. That had something to do with it. But as it turns out, it was the right path. Margaret and I had a blast doing it, riding the buses, staying in the motels, being with the 18 and 19-year-olds that were just out of high school or college, and teaching them how to be professionals.
I thought that was one of the great statements that he made today when somebody asked him about being a Hall of Famer and having to go back to the minor leaguers, that a lot of Hall of Famers wouldn't do that. And I think what he was saying is that they're all different. And for him, it was the way he felt like he needed to become prepared to be a Major League manager.
Well, he did. I mean, and again, he did it the hard way, and going back to the minor leagues to do that and ride buses. You don't know what that's all about unless you've done it and you've gotten away from it. Now all of a sudden you're going to do that again. Shows you character.
1 ball and 1 strike to Lagares. Well, Murph, we talked about the moment in the clubhouse when Rhino was introduced by Ruben Amaro Jr. You could see that Ryan Sandberg even was moved a little bit by what happened in that clubhouse.
Yeah, and why not? It was really interesting. He was asked about it during the press conference today, and he said, the players were on their feet and clapping, and a lot of them yelling out, "I see you," which is a phrase that Ryan Sandberg uses all the time when a player does something well or is hustling or something like that. That's his phrase, and he said, "I heard about 40 I see yous" when they made the announcement down there in the clubhouse today. And you talked about, and we heard earlier Ryan talking about the communication process. And, Sarge, he said that one of the things that he learned while being a minor league manager was the ability to communicate. He was a quiet player. As Wheels told the story, he didn't talk a whole lot, and Ryan has admitted that. And it was something that he needed to do, and he has said time and time again, if he had gotten the job right away, he probably would not have succeeded the way he has through the minor league ranks. So, Hall of Fame or not, he did it the way he thought was best for him, and the day has finally come where he's a major league manager.
Now, that is true to form in that statement. The one that's responsible for getting him out of that shell and making him talk the way that he does, simply, it's Margaret, his wife. She is the one that actually did that. I mean, again, I've been around Rhino where at the dinner table he may not even say, you won't even know he's there, that he does it. But
unless
he
he asks
always,
for the bread or something.
Yeah, or the check, which he didn't do that very often either. But, he
that one.
He was such a good guy to be around because he always did the job. You could always count on him, and he would not make the last out. We had a thing where you would not make the last out, and having the players take on some of your persona and like he was saying, oh, I see you. Same kind of things that we would do, and you're right, Murph, would be, hey, when you did something right, hey, I see you. Mm-hmm. And, again, that's just part of it. There's a whole lot more you're going to see as the years go on. And I told him today, and, again, really thrilled and happy just at the route that he took to get back.
That ball is pulled through the hole on the left side, so Recker gets a base hit to put runners on first and second. So now 4 hits for the Mets. Well, here's the path that Ryan Sandberg took to becoming a major league manager. A winning percentage of .517 in the minor leagues. It included stops in Peoria, Tennessee, and Iowa before moving over to Lehigh Valley, where he was the minor league manager of the year in all of baseball.
Well, it's a great resume, to say the least. And he thought maybe might have had a chance there with the Cubs. Things didn't work out. You would think that situation would sour you, but what it did with Rhino, it just made him more motivated. This is where he is today, and another dream come true for him to be a major league manager and get a chance to see what he's all about next year when he starts from the very beginning.
And guys, I think it's worth noting too that Ryan Sandberg was taking over for a guy who was not only beloved in Philadelphia but beloved in his own clubhouse, and he had to win those guys over as well and show them that he was the right man for the job, taking over for Charlie Manuel. And in a short period of time, it appears that he has done that because no one wants to forget what Charlie Manuel did for this organization and what a great players manager he was. But the reaction that the players had today just shows you that Ryan is picked right up there, and I think that's very important.
I agree with that, Murph. I think you're right on with that. It's hard.
Well,
it's hard to take over for somebody that was as popular as Charlie.
Yeah, well, nobody's going to be able to erase the memories that we've had with Charlie Manuel and the things that he brought.
Nor would you want to.
Well, no, not at all. And, again, for me, players manager and a guy that you could talk hitting with at any time of the day. And same thing, though, with Sandberg in a lot of ways that they're alike, other than being Rhino being younger. Got to have the respect of the players if you're going to be able to win, for me.
1 ball, 1 strike, the count to Carlos Torres. Runner at third, 2 outs here in the top of the 5th. Ron Culpa being booed because he took the foul ball and I think put it in his pocket. But he'll eventually give it to someone.
Huge double play. Having the pitcher up, maybe he can go in and get out of this. Pick right where it is.
Got him. Foul tip. Ruiz hangs on. Strikeout number 7 for Cliff Lee. No runs, 2 hits, 1 man left. We've completed 4.5. Ron Culpa's going to finish his business and make somebody very happy in the same vein. Well, we talked about Ryan Sandberg. He talked about his support system. You can hear it from him himself.
I also want to introduce my wife, Margaret, who we're a team off the field, and I know that she's the biggest Phillies fan around, and we do it together.
Park a nice crowd on the final day of regular season baseball here in Philadelphia. Phillies will be off to Miami and then to Atlanta. Cody Ashley leads it off. Ashley flied out to right field his first time up. On a different day, he may have had an extra base hit on the ball he hit. He was knocked down by the wind. Pops it foul and out of play, and it's 0-2.
Well, the one good thing about it is that he is a low ball hitter. He has recognized that a lot better to swing at a borderline low pitch than it would be, say, a pitch that would be up in the zone. Difficult to get on top of the ball. He's not just up there swinging. He's got a pretty good idea of what he's trying to do. This is valuable time that he is here in the major leagues. See a different kind of player in spring training because he'll be working on things that he should to try and make the ball club.
Swing and a miss. And that's 5 strikeouts now for Torres. The last 5 hitters, he has struck out 4 of the 5. Tomorrow night at 11, Arsenio's got Nick Cannon, Soprano star Steven Van Zandt, plus a performance by rapper 2 Chainz. I think I'm saying that right. I may not be. All the stars come out on the Arsenio Hall show tomorrow night after Modern Family right here on PHL 17.
You'll be getting some letters.
I may have said it right, though.
Well, and you'll still be getting letters. Oh, boy.
Sarge, we're getting old is what we're getting.
Why do you always include me in
right,
those types of things?
Did you know how to pronounce that?
No, I sure didn't. I'm just listening to you.
Where's Wheels? Wheels would have known how to pronounce that.
Yeah, he sure would have.
Kevin Franzen's retired. 2 outs here in the 5th. And that'll bring Cliff Lee to the plate. Cliff Lee struck out his first time at the plate.
It's kind of nice greeting the fans, handing out those magnet schedules, and from young, old, taking pictures, and true Philly fans. Oh, they're glad to be in the ballpark. A little bit sad that the season is going to be over with. Kind of get used to that. It's kind of air and being in postseason.
That ball is lined over the glove of Murphy, and it's going to scoot into right center field, cut off by Lagares. And Lee is aboard with a 2-out single.
I got to tell you, they might want to think about him as a pinch hitter.
Well, they have done that before.
He's smoking the ball. I mean, again, Lee recognizing the pitch that, oh my.
This lady wanted a hug right here.
Oh, gosh.
Oh. There was another lady whose reaction was priceless.
Well, we had a great time in doing just that today. Oh, and they
Hugs
really.
for everybody.
They love Wills, too.
Saw Don DeJulia and his son Chris. They came through also. Don is the athletic director at St. Joseph's University. Topper to first, and Hernandez and the Phillies will be retired here in the bottom of the 5th. 3 unassisted, no runs, 1 hit, and 1 man left. Cliff Lee will rip off that jacket and go back to work at the top of the 6th when we return. Fanatic and some of the game day staff, all the ladies that are in the house working for the Phils, or at least a lot of them, down there dancing with the Phils. And then they decided to give the fans a gift, the shirt off the Fanatics back.
He's the greatest, really. There's just no mascot that's close. I'm sorry.
Look at him going over by Eric Young Jr. Look at him just stop in front of Eric Young Jr. and say, hey, man, help me out here.
See, there's Tom Gort, first base coach. And you just really, when you're out there, you don't want him to even come around you. You just want him to just keep going.
You can see Dan Worthen, the pitching coach, laughing in the Mets dugout. Yeah, Tom Goodwin didn't really know what to do. He was just standing there thinking, I should have went to the first base coach's box. Well, the Fanatic is the best. They could do that bit every night. Looking funny.
Boy.
Eric Young will lead it off here in the top of the 6th. It's a 1-1 game. Young scored the run for the Mets. That was in the 4th. Out toward right center field, and Hernandez got a good jump. No, he didn't. It went over his head. The wind took it. Boy, it looked like he saw that the whole way, but I guess he didn't go hard enough because he thought he was going to settle right under it.
Well, that's center fielders again, and he's Young's done a great job out there. However, you have to check the wind when you go out. We've talked about listening to the sound, and that ball actually just took off. Wasn't able to outrun it. He smoked that ball as it gets over the head right now. Take a look at it. He had a bead on it.
Yeah.
And if he keeps going, when he first starts, he got a good jump. He had a good chance to maybe get glove on that ball, but once you try and start that engine up again, it's usually a little too late.
Yeah, the one last night, I don't think he could have caught.
No,
that we were talking about. That one, I think he had a better chance of catching. Well, now Flores doubled his last time up. He's 1 for 2, hitting .217 overall. Well, at least had some base runners to deal with these last few innings.
Yep.
Ground ball left side that will not get the runner over to third. The Phillies are looking to hire a staff of ball girls who can represent the organization in the community as well as perform duties on the field. The requirements are public relations skills, softball experience, and knowledge of the game of baseball. Marcy certainly has that. Strong interpersonal skills and outgoing personality, and Rachel has that. Flexible schedule, must be at least 18 years of age. If you're interested, see Phillies.com/community for all the details. With one out, here's Murphy. He's 0 for 2 with a couple strikeouts.
Pretty good base running, too, by Eric Young. Can't go on a ground ball. It's hit in front of you. You have to go on. If it's to your left, you can automatically make it.
Over towards short. Rollins to his right. Again, Young stays at second. The throw is a little low. Franzen handles it, and there are 2 outs. On the Toyota Major League scoreboard, an update from Chicago. Boy, it was blustery there yesterday. I think that weather's come here to Philadelphia. Braves lead the Cubs 2-1. Their magic number is 1. Now they're at the bottom of the second. Miami and Washington are in the top of the 6th. And Miami is leading that one 3-0 in game 1 of a day-night doubleheader.
It's an uphill climb there for the Nationals. They almost have to win every single day. The other clubs that are in front of them, they can lose every now and then.
Yeah, well, the Reds winning today, or leading today, over the Pirates, doesn't totally change the Nationals' fate, but they have to win, because if they wind up losing today, they'll be 5.5 behind Pittsburgh with a week of games left. If they lose 2 today, well, then they'll be 6 back with a week of games, so it's pretty much over. Although stranger things have happened in baseball. Another one is shortstop. Rollins waits for it. Cliff Lee is going to get out of this. After the leadoff double by Eric Young, he gets 3 straight groundouts to shortstop. He's dealing again. We go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Jimmy Rollins will lead it off when we come back. Bank Park. Jimmy Rollins is set to start things off for the Phillies. Rollins hit into a double play his last time up. Torres has done a nice job. He's struck out 5 so far. He's allowed 4 hits. Rollins hits one off his foot, and it's no balls and 1 strike.
Stand out of the middle of the plate. That ball was a cutter. It doesn't matter, though. That cutter coming in on you, unless you can get right out in front of it, you usually hit that ball off your leg. That's because it gets too deep.
How about the day Jimmy's had? Called out on a ground ball toward the middle.
Yeah, that was a bad call for me.
That one's off the end of the bat out toward right center field, and it's going to hang. Oh, he missed it. He lost it in the sun. Rollins is going to try to hustle the second. The throw, oh, if it was on line, he would have been out, but it was on line. It was just dropped by Tovar, and it's going to turn out to be a double for Jimmy Rollins. I don't know if Jimmy was running the entire way, which is why it was so close. I looked down and at first base, he hit the bag and just busted it to second.
Yeah, usually when the ball's hit, we usually look right there at the ball to take a look at the fielder. Again, couldn't shade his eyes at all. We've talked about those glasses before as that ball gets him right in the palm of his hand. Let's see whether or not he actually shut it down as he takes off again to get to second base there. Just a no-no. Not lucky on that play.
That's his 32nd double of the year, so he's in scoring position.
Well, you can't take it for granted. Any ball is going to be caught. Again, one of the reasons you got to hustle.
Well, a fresh opportunity for the Phils here in the bottom of the 6th to take the lead.
I tell you, somebody needs to be able to get with these outfielders on the proper way to catch a ball when it's in the sun in terms of shading your eyes.
Utley pulls it through the hole on the right side, of base hit. Rollins will be held at third. Brown has a plus arm, and he gets up with it quickly.
Good thing, right on the money. Good call by Samwell. More importantly, too, good hitting by Chase Utley. Doing the job, trying to get him over, ends up getting a hit for that. A lot of time they'd be getting him over and in on a ball that's hit to right field. Just not taking any chances at all. I bet you if it was in the 9th inning tied 1-1, you'd have probably seen him coming in all the way. Just gives you a little better chance to score that run.
Mets will play the infield back, so even a double play will give the Phillies the lead. Throwing a lot of breaking pitches to Carlos Ruiz.
Well, they know Carlos is a fastball hitter, especially the first pitch. So it's up to that hitter, too, though, to make sure that you don't swing at bad pitches in order to get that count to 2-0.
Seems like he's leading with his upper body.
Good call. Great call on that. That's exactly what he's doing. And not only that, just uncomfortable, it seems, though, at the plate. He's just not having a fluid swing. And you've seen him when he has slow feet, he's able to see the ball, and he can go that way. You know, and that's what he's trying to do. That ball that's away, continue to leave it that way.
Out toward right field. The wind really takes it into the crowd.
Approach, though, a little bit better. Kind of put him in a hole, however. They can go either way, coming inside. He can go up high with a fastball. And he's been trying to get him out on that slider that's been breaking away.
Tries it again.
And these are the situations, winning ball clubs, you more than likely, you get the runners in. And you have to do it the majority of the time during the course of the season. Good eye.
Will it send Utley here?
Eyes like that? Yeah. Good base runner. Only thing that you're watching out for is just that line drive. But if you're running, you just got to continue to run. Nothing you can do about it.
3 balls, 2 strikes to Ruiz. Utley doesn't go, and the pitch is fouled back.
Rhino might be thinking of that slider that he's been swinging through. Don't want to strike him out, throw him out in this situation. Have that slider that start a little bit more at him, or at least down the middle of the plate before it's a strike.
Popped him up. Shallow right field. Murphy is out there. Brown comes in. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Dodge. Visit Dodge.com or your local dealer today. By WB Mason, you can't go wrong when you buy right. And by Toyota. Toyota's nationwide clearance event is going on now. Toyota, let's go places. Well, look at that, the 50-50 raffle, because today's crowd is 44,398. The overall prize is $59,765. So half of that will go to a lucky winner. And it's still climbing. Now that is incredible. So why don't you go out and get us some 50-50 tickets?
I'm going to.
Dominic Brown pulls it over the head of Dudai to right field. Rollins will score. Utley goes to second. It's a 2-1 ball game. RBI 82 for Dominic Brown. Good approach. Went right up there looking for a pitch he can hit.
Classic middle in there, and that's what I'm talking about when I say get the head of the bat out in front. That's exactly what he did. Take a look at it. Eyes down right there on it. You can see that little dot, which means it was a slider as he catches that one. Only thing you got to watch out for was the line drive, and you can see Utley, good base running again as he was going to go back the other way if it was caught, and he's able to get to second.
So now a meeting on the mound between Torres and his teammates and Dan Worthen, the pitching coach. With 1 out, Darren Ruff is the hitter. Man, somebody's going to walk away with more than $30,000 today. It's up to over $60,000. The 50-50.
Yeah, well, last day, everybody's feeling pretty good. It's about getting me a ticket. That'd be pretty nice. You go to the ball game and come back home with $30,000 in your pocket.
Wow. Well, that's what we're, they do this in Milwaukee, and the prizes there were pretty high too. Not 30,000.
Yeah, nowhere near 30,000. maybe the last day of the season has something to do with that here in Philadelphia.
Yeah, 30,000 to the winner and 30,000 to charity.
It's a win-win.
Yeah, it is. Ruff takes a strike. It's 1-1. How about go to the ballpark with your buddies and then showing up at home with a new Explorer or something like that?
Oh boy. That's the way it should be. That would be great.
Outside, 2-1. Where'd the Corolla go? Well, honey, I won the 50-50 at the ballpark, so I bought a Tundra. And here's a magnetic schedule
for you,
player cards, and I got you a Fanatic puppet.
Oh boy.
2 balls and 1 strike to Ruff. Outside, 3-1.
Boy, he's seeing so many of those sliders now. He's kind of getting used to them. And he'll get to where he can handle them. And plain and simple, if he doesn't, he just won't be able to play every day. Got to be able to handle that pitch if you're going to play every day and be able to contribute.
Lays off, and they appeal. No swing. Bases are loaded. If you're 30 years old or older, here's your chance of a lifetime. It's Phillies Fantasy Camp from the 22nd to the 26th of next year in Clearwater, Florida. Package includes hotel accommodations, practice with and instruction from guys like Greg Lazinski, John Kruk, Mike Lieberthal, Jim Eisenreich, Mickey Moore in Haiti. Fantasy game versus the legends at Bright House Field, plus a Phillies uniform and so much more. Call 610-520-3400. Cody Ashley's 0 for 2. And he fouled it back. It's 0-1.
Good swing.
Oh boy.
Well, he likes that low pitch. I mean, he gets all over it. That one, he was very quick on. Got to watch out, though, for that same pitch. He's been coming in with it, that slider. End up jamming Carlos Ruiz on a fastball after looking for a slider.
Bases are loaded. Phils have scored 1. They're looking for more. Now the 0-2 pitch to Ashe. And a called strike 3.
Filthy.
Boy, he really backdoored a beauty right there. That's 6 strikeouts.
Looking for the ball inside. I can guarantee you that. That's why it's tough to pull that trigger. Tell you though, it was late. He still had really a pretty good position. That was just a really pitcher's pitch. Again, tip your cap to him as he puts it in a place where you can't even foul the ball off. Wow, impressive.
Franzen's 1 for 2.
He's been getting that breaking ball over kind of whenever he seems like he wants to. At least he's found the grip on it, barely missing. The time for a nice little base hit up the middle. Oh, by the way, Tom, you'd be taking home $31,000.
It's going to be incredible to see where it ends. Franzen lifts one to center field. Lagares on the run. The wind is pushing it back a little bit, and he makes the catch. Side is retired. 1 run in the inning for the Phillies. They leave them loaded. Torres works out of a jam, but the Phillies do have the lead as we go to the 7th.
It's a perfect day when the streaker comes back. Love that. Here's your local Honda dealers game summary. Good pitching today. Both these guys have done a good job, both Torres and Lee. They've left some guys out there in scoring position. Phillies now with a 2-1 lead on Dominic Brown's go-ahead base hit. You see what Lee's done. You see what Torres has done. And the wind's helping a lot today, too. And the Phillies benefited. Sun's behind a cloud right now. If that had happened last inning, they probably wouldn't have scored that run.
So Lucas Duda will lead it off here at the top of the 7th inning. Little Bruce Springsteen to say goodbye to the fans here at Citizens Bank Park just a few days after the anniversary of the release of the Nebraska album. It's always good to hear Bruce on our telecast.
Always.
Pretty appropriate since today is Fan Appreciation Day and how much he appreciates his fans and how much we appreciate ours here in Philadelphia.
Great crowd here today. Having fun. Good ball game.
No balls and 1 strike to Duda, and he takes a strike. It's 0-2. Seven strikeouts for Lee. 208 for his season. 213 2/3. Swing and a miss. Number 8 for Cliff Lee. He's retired 4 in a row.
Did a great job last inning. If the leadoff double, didn't let him get him over to third. 3 ground outs, all to short. And here he comes to Lucas Duda with a good fastball. Swings over it.
Lagares takes on the outside. Oh, off the outside corner, excuse me. I thought I was going right along with Phil Cousin.
I don't know today.
I know that's a foul ball.
Yeah. Well, this park plays small on days like this, and that's kind of what's happening. And good pitching, good defense. That's what it takes to win a game when the wind blows in like this. So it plays small. I mean, it plays big. when it's like this.
Here's the 2-2 pitch. Ground ball, left side. Ashe can't get it. Rollins does. Throws. Not in time.
He did all he could. That was a long throw. And, Cody Ashe doing what he's supposed to do, and that's cut the ball off. He can. Lagarde's a plus runner, though. And he really hustled down the line to beat that. Here's a look at it. It's deep in the hole, too. You see him cut in front of Jimmy. Has to quick release it. It looked like he beat it.
Here's Anthony Recker, excuse me. He is out of Alvernia College. Fly ball right center field. On the run is Hernandez out toward the track. So is Ruff, and they let it go by. Going to third and holding there is Lagares. And that'll be a double for Recker. It almost looked like that ball should have been caught.
Well, the wind took it. It picked it up towards right center, but it should have been caught. And that's the thing we talk about all the time. In the last 2 years in the outfield, that maybe it doesn't show up in the box score, but these plays have to be made. A ball that's in the air that long has to be caught by one of the outfielders. In that case, the right fielder has to make this play. And Darren Ruff just couldn't get there, and then he plays it off the wall when he couldn't get there.
I almost wonder if he lost it, if the wind took it a little. You know what I mean?
The wind took it.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. The wind took it towards right center. That's where the ball's carrying. There's another one out there like that earlier. Who hit that? Young hit it, I think.
Well, now the Phillies will play the infield in, up 2-1 with Tovar, who has grounded out to Rollins twice. See what the Mets decide to do on contact here with the pitcher spot up next, and Josh Satin out in the on-deck circle. And a curveball, that's a strike.
Right, and with the pinch hitter on deck doesn't mean you always go on contact here, because you're going to hit for the pitcher. But they may try to do it because they have a good runner at third. But it's a young hitter. Never seen Cliff Lee before today, and he has him 2 strikes now. There are a lot of ways he can go right now to get him out and not give up a run.
Atchison and Germain, the 2 right-handers. Atchison is just now getting up. Germain was up. No balls, 2 strikes. And a line drive base hit it to left field. It's his first major league hit. 1 run scores. Now it'll be 2. Dominic Brown bobbles it. The throw cut off by Ashe. It's a 3-2 Mets lead.
There's this bad outfield play again. Just reared its head. Really should. That time the rule will be an error court, of course. But Cliff Lee also made a really bad 0-2 pitch. Just talking about how a young hitter up there with a lot of ways to go, and he gives him something up in the zone. And that's what a guy like that wants to hit. Watch where he goes with this. See, it's high. I think it was supposed to be a cutter in, and then Dominic Brown just overruns it. They had stopped the runner at third. Or Tuffle saw it all the way, and the runner stopped himself. And then he got going in plenty of time to Recker to score.
So the Mets have the lead here in the top of the 7th. So some work to do for the Phillies to get through this inning, and also to get some runs back. Satin takes a strike. It's 0-1. 2. See, Wills, I was thinking along with him.
See, you're right that time. You got it.
Fly ball, shallow right center field. Hernandez will get to this one. Tovar tags and then stops. So 2 outs. And that'll bring Eric Young to the plate. Well, these are some of the folks that have been working all year long in our truck here at Citizens Bank Park. They do such a great job with the replays and also the video work that goes into a telecast. You don't see them unless you're up here wandering around before the ball game or wandering around the concourse. In fact, you probably have seen them walking the concourse, going back and forth to the truck. We want to thank them for all their efforts this year and some of the replays, the shots that are shown over and over and over again.
Well, it's very rare that we call down to the truck and on the talkback and say, "Do you have that?" And they say no. And that just shows you how good they are.
Eric Young is 2 for 3. He's doubled. He's singled. He's scored a run. And he hits that one out toward left field. Dominic Brown going back out toward the wall, and it's going to lay right into his glove. And the side is retired. But 2-run score, 1 earned, 1 unearned for the New York Mets. Time to stretch here at Citizens Bank Park with the Phillies down by 1. Question one more time. Who was the last Met to win the National League home run title?
I think you gave me a great hint because I asked you, is it someone that jumps right out at you? No, he's not. Well, he wasn't Mr. Personality. Darryl Strawberry was going to be the guy if you'd have said it was a guy you'd think about.
Right.
You said no.
I did say no.
So I'm going to go with the guy who wasn't a real pleasant personality, Dave King Kong Kingman.
Dave Kingman is an excellent guess, Wheels, but it is incorrect.
Really?
Yeah.
Darn. Who was it?
A guy who was a very pleasant personality. Howard Johnson.
Oh, yeah.
38 home runs.
He was a nice guy.
Back in 1991.
Clearwater, Florida. Did Kingman ever lead the league in homers for the Mets? No, never mind.
I'm sure he did.
That's crazy.
He used to battle Mike Schmidt and Greg Luzinski all the time in the 70s.
Yeah, that's why I thought he may have led the league in homers. But
This may have been 37, though. Remember, there was a year where he and Schmidt, I don't know, either Schmidt had 37 and he had 36 or vice versa.
Yeah, because you didn't need 40 to lead the league in homers at one time.
No. Scott Atchison is the new pitcher for the Mets as we get set to begin the bottom of the 7th inning. And it looks like Pete Orr is going to pinch hit for the Phils. We have some time, so let's get to Murph with the Major League Notebook. Murph?
Well, thank you very much, Tom. Brought to you by NYN AT PHI University. And the Red Sox are targeting Wednesday to welcome back Jacoby Ellsbury to their lineup. He hasn't played since September the 5th because he had that compression fracture in his foot. But the plan is to get him back on the field for a couple of regular season games before the Red Sox head to the playoffs. They said it may be a little bit optimistic to have him back on Wednesday, but that is what they're shooting for. And what a night, or what an afternoon, I should say, at Yankee Stadium today as they retired number 42, Mariano Rivera. They give the guy a rocking chair. He got a minute standing ovation as he came in from the bullpen one last time. And, well, thank you.
Speaking of old men.
Yeah. How are you, Scott?
Scott Palmer.
Well, welcome, guys.
Sorry you blew out all the candles.
The candles are out.
Yeah, well,
I hope the wind did that.
happy birthday to you from everybody in the our booth, obviously, and all around.
You're not going to smash that in my face, are you?
Of course not. I wouldn't be the one to want to do that, although we have had some people say that, for sure.
Well, thank you guys very much. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Now that's awesome.
Very nice. Thank you, Scott.
How about getting some bread?
We're going to try to do that, too. My birthday's been brought to you by NYN AT PHI University, guys.
Murph, happy birthday, buddy.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate
How
that.
about the candles blowing out before you got a chance to blow them out? Did you make a wish while he was walking behind you?
Yeah, I was wishing he wouldn't throw that in my face, so I guess I got it. Yeah.
That's excellent.
Those candles were overmatched out in that area.
Well, today is Murph's birthday, of course, and it's also the great Dan Baker's birthday.
That's right.
Folks at Fanavision had a cake for Dan earlier, and we want to send our best wishes out to our good friend Dan Baker. There he is. Dan, happy birthday, buddy.
Dan's been the Phillies PA announcer since 1972.
He spent a lot of birthdays here at the ballpark.
Yeah, the only year he missed was 71, the first year of the vet.
Pete Orr takes high, 2 balls and 2 strikes.
How about those candles, huh? Candles in the wind.
We were trying to think of a place where he could go where the wind wouldn't blow them out.
He had no chance out there.
And Pete Orr, a foul tip. And a strikeout, 1 out here in the 7th. How about that little kid saying, happy birthday, Mo?
That was nice.
Moments ago, there's Dan. He got a birthday cake, too. Dan is turning 2, if those candles tell us the story. 2 years old. Happy second birthday, Dan. Cesar Hernandez is 1 for 3. And he bunts foul. No balls and 1 strike. Ball and 2 strikes now to Hernandez. Jimmy Rollins waits on deck. Out toward left field. Young on the run. And everything that's been hit out there today has been pushed back. And there are 2 outs. For years, StubHub has been the place to find great Phillies tickets. And this season was no different. And don't forget, in 2014, you can get more with your tickets thanks to StubHub Fan Rewards. So get to StubHub and grab your seats today. Rollins is 1 for 2 with a walk. Doubled and scored his last time. He takes on the inside corner.
And he hit that ball with Brown lost in the sun in right field, turned into a double. Thankfully. He thought it was going to be caught. Nobody's really ridden one up into that wind to right field today. You've seen some balls carry like the one that wasn't caught last inning that Wrecker hit, but you can hit a home run out there.
Swing and a miss. Rollins is down on strikes. They tag him out, and the side is retired. 2 strikeouts in the inning for Atchison. Phillies go down in order here in the 7th, plus they'll have to go to the bullpen. So Cliff Lee's last start here in Philadelphia is in the books. Audi Plus Ford stores. Go further and buy McDonald's. I'm loving it. Top of the 8th inning. Phillies trail at 3-2. B.J. Rosenberg will take over. Rosenberg takes over for Cliff Lee. Lee went 7 innings today. He scattered 8 hits and 3 runs. 2 were earned. So his earned run average is under 3.
I think he's still talking about that ball that wasn't caught in right center field.
He doesn't show a lot of emotion, but he is upset. You can tell.
Well,
and he has every right to be.
Yeah, because you're out there doing the best. And the other guys are doing the best they can, too. It's not like anybody doesn't try to catch that thing. But that ball was in the air forever, and it was a right-handed hitter to slice it back towards Darren Ruff. And the sun, I don't think there's any doubt the sun and wind bothered him on that because he's not an experienced outfielder. But he's playing the position, and he's supposed to catch it. That's a tougher play for the center fielder because he was shaded over a little bit.
So Rosenberg will go to work against Wilmer Flores.
Now, if you have a real experienced center fielder, maybe he sees that his angle is out of the sun a little easier than his is in the sun. You take charge and catch that ball. But that's you're talking about 3 inexperienced guys out there. Brown the most experienced of them, obviously.
Lee did not walk a batter today. Struck out 8, including the first 3 that he faced. His earned run average is a 2.93 going into his final start, which will be against the Braves. 2 balls and 1 strike. Well, just to update you, because it's a remarkable number, the winning amount, the overall amount, $73,300 for today's jackpot at the 50-50. The winner will walk away with $36,650.
Pretty cool. You come in here, watch a ball game, and win that.
Everybody's going over their numbers just to see. Anxious. Here, you take it, hon. You look at it just to confirm.
You hear a scream somewhere, you know who won it.
Swing and a miss, one away. 9 strikeouts for Phil's pitching. Daniel Murphy's coming up. Little topper toward third. Ashe hurries, throws off balance, not in time. Throw took him off the bag. That'll be a base hit. And an infield single for Murphy. A reminder that teachers in grades K through 8 can sign up their class for a great program. It's the Be a Fanatic About Reading program presented by Comcast. If you're asking how can you sign up, well, you can email the fan development department at fandev@phillies.com. Program provides free fun incentives, including posters with a shirt on and bookmarks, and the chance to receive a literacy visit with a shirt on from the Fanatic. Program encourages students to read for 15 minutes to improve their skills. 15 minutes a day. Andrew Brown is 0 for 3. Wills, he gave the fans the shirt off his back.
Yeah, he gives it all every day. Doesn't leave anything on the field, as he proved again.
Fly ball shallow left field. Playable for Dominic Brown. Phillies in their half of the 9th inning or 8th inning will have Utley, Ruiz, and Dominic Brown due up.
Shadow's out there right now favoring the pitcher. Doesn't mean you can't get something done, but it's always nicer to have a lead when you have these conditions. Tell it's September when you see shadows like that at 3:45.
Low ball 3. Duda is 0 for 3. He's struck out twice and he's flied to center. Lagares on deck. Phillies and the Mets have split the 18 games they've played so far this year. And ball 4. The wait is over. Modern Family comes to PHL 17 tomorrow night. It's all your favorite scenes, all your favorite episodes, all on America's #1 comedy. Modern Family premieres tomorrow at 7:30 and 10:30 on PHL 17. Lagares has been on base twice today. He's hitting .252, but he's hitting well over .300 against the Phillies this year. And he fouls Cuzzy's mask off, and it's 0-1. Seems like Cuzzy's okay. Right, Sandberg talked today about the bullpen, how he feels like the young guys have kind of settled things down in the bullpen. When he was talking about 2014, B.J. Rosenberg, Jake Diekman, those are two of the guys he was talking about. He was even including Justin DeFreitas in that conversation.
Yeah, he thinks they've given him some hope to be able to do some things in the bullpen next year without having to go outside the organization. Everything's tempered with the fact this is September when you're not in contention and the games are not real pressure packed. But the signs are such that they give you optimism with some of these guys.
One ball and 2 strikes to Lagares. Out toward right field. That's going to be trouble if it stays fair. It's going to be a fair ball, and it's going to drop for a hit. A run scores. They'll hold Duda at third. It's a double for Lagares. Boy, the Phillies are going to be happy to see him go. An RBI double. It's his 3rd hit of the day. As Murphy crosses the plate, it's a 4-2 Mets lead.
Another guy came in there saying, boy, he's really in a slump. He can't do anything. And he's hit them hard all year.
3 for 39 coming into this series.
Made a decent pitch on him. The fastball run back. It ran back over and got too much of the plate, and he just fought it off and slices it down the right field line. It's not like he hit it real hard, but he hit it in a perfect spot.
Yeah, he hasn't been great in this series overall, but today he's 3 for 4. So he has 4 hits and 11 at bats and 3 RBIs. And Recker lifts it to shallow right center field. Darren Ruff, sunglasses on, has a view of it. Side is retired. Well, Lagares with 7 3-hit games this year. It seems like all of them have come against the Phils. Bottom half of the 8th inning. It's time now for a Hyundai defensive play of the game with a little different twist to it.
Yeah, these are plays that weren't made. Here's a fly ball that Recker hits to right center field, and two outfielders converge on it. Neither one of them get there. We're obviously much closer to Darren Ruff because it was slicing back towards him. And then here's this 0-2 base hit on a poor pitch, but a good job on the base hit. And then Dominic Brown overruns it, hits the glove, kicks away, and another run scores on that. So a couple of gift runs in that inning. And we call those our Hyundai defensive plays of the game. They're really plays that weren't made, and those plays were brought to you by your local Hyundai dealers.
Vic Black will be the new pitcher for the Mets. This is his 15th game, his second game of this series. And he'll face Chase Utley to start it off. Chase has got a nice round of applause from the fans. They're recognizing that this may be the final time they will see him here in Philadelphia this year. As B.J. Rosenberg just gave up that run. Chase has had himself a heck of a year considering the last two seasons and his struggles with his knees. His average has been around 280 for the last several weeks. He has 2 hits this afternoon. He's hit in 6 straight. Let's see if he can get a rally going here with the Phillies trailing at 4-2. So 282. On base percentage is pretty good. Not pretty good. It's very nice at 346. Ruiz and Brown. 44,398 here today. And a beautiful fall afternoon. Wills.
Yeah, fall came back. Is today the first day of fall?
Today's the 22nd.
Well, it knew. It knew to get here. Rode right in on that rain last night. Good job by fall.
We'll go back to summer in about 7 hours.
Oh boy.
When we go to South Florida.
Oh, it'll be hot down there, yeah.
It's going to be nice in Atlanta this weekend. Chase takes a strike. It's 0-1. Utley lifts one to shallow left field, and Eric Young Jr. makes a diving play, and he just robbed Utley of a base hit.
Well, that's a great play, as you said, do or die. Probably not the smartest play in the world when you have a 2-run lead, but he made it. Because this has all the potential not to be caught and then to give you a base runner and get an inning started. But he sold out, and give him credit. He makes this tremendous play right there. But the odds are that ball was going to hit the ground. Whoa, says Vic Black. I thought I had me a base runner.
He likes the fact he's working from the windup, or he's working without a guy on base, I should say. He works from the stretch at all times. Now Ruiz, he's 0 for 3. Carlos has flied out twice and he's struck out. 1-0. This homestand, the Phillies took 2 of 3 from the Marlins, but they've lost the first 2 to New York, so they've lost 3 in a row overall. It's been kind of an up and down year here at Citizens Bank Park for the Phillies. Played better lately. But they need to get some base runners in order to finish this one off on a positive note. ball and 2 strikes now to Ruiz. Line drive to center field. That's a hit for Carlos. Second hit of this homestand for Carlos. And a 1-out single brings Dominic Brown up to the plate. Another chance to recognize some of the great folks that have been part of our crew all year long. That's right, we are honoring the audio. And they have control of the reins and what you hear right now, and rightfully so. Art Riley, who you see there between Joe and Ron on that list. Art is recovering right now from a bad fall that he sustained while covering the boxing match last week. And we wish him the best too. He's making his way home
from San Diego.
Yeah, which is good news. But they are not only great at what they do, but they're also great to have around, because we see most of them all the time.
Oh yeah.
And in fact, many of them are up here in the booth with us. Some are in the truck, as you can hear.
They got that buzzer too.
There it is. The bell. The bell. Wheels, you heard the bell though too.
Oh, but you know the buzzer's right behind it. That's always nice.
Don't get too high, Wheels. Don't get too high.
I kind of missed that. I haven't heard that in a while.
Well, they did win yesterday, so you probably should have gotten
they'll
the
play
Penn
that
State
once in a while
sound
for us,
effect.
you know. Once in a while. That's great. Great imagination, creativity down there. That's one way to put it.
2 balls, 1 strike to Dominic Brown. Phillies trailed it by 2 here in the bottom of the 8th. And it's 3-1. Well, both of our partners, Comcast Sportsnet and PHL 17, both have been tremendous to us and have provided a great product for all of the fans out there in the Delaware Valley, and now even beyond, with MLB.TV. Folks all around the country get a chance to see the Phillies telecast and how beautiful they make things look here at this ballpark and even on the road. You know, we say thank you, and sometimes that's only 2 words, but it obviously is something that we mean from our heart. And these are the folks that handle the video that make everything look perfect. They can only do so much with us, but perfect.
Really. You got the Pop family down there.
Yeah, they do. Dominic Brown takes outside, ball 4, so runners on first and second.
Good at bat by Dominic Brown, just trying to get some base runners, trying to get things going. Now you see how big that play was by Eric Young.
Yeah, instead of bases loaded and nobody out, first and second with 1 out. Papelbon starts to warm up. Michael Stutz was out there too.
I'm sure they'd like to get Michael Stutz into a game eventually, not necessarily this kind of game.
There's Michael. It's nice to see him back on the lineup card.
Yeah.
Coming back from his shoulder that has bothered him for the last couple years. Ryan Sandberg going over some things with Mick Billmeyer.
I did a lot of talking about a potential coaching staff today without naming names, of course, but just his feeling on what a staff brings to help a manager and help an organization, and that'll be the next step here.
He has a lot of respect for the staff that is currently here, too.
He went out of his way to say that, and he means it.
Darren Ruff takes low. It gets between Recker. 2 runners will move up, so that means the tying run is at second base here at the bottom of the 8th inning.
Yeah, this would be a great spot now for Darren after that fly ball that he just caught in right field. He could do some damage. That's a poor job by Recker right there. You really have to call it a wild pitch because it hits the dirt, but you pancaked it. And he knows that that's a ball that he needed to turn the glove the other way. But we always say those fastballs are the ones that can really eat a guy up because they're not anticipating it in the dirt.
One ball and no strikes. They play the infield back with a 2-run lead. And Ruff hits it off the end of the bat. Foul territory. Playable for Duda. At least it was for a moment. And he makes the catch as he goes over the railing. Here comes Ruiz. The throw to the plate. Not in time. It's a 1-run game. Brown goes to third. It was an excellent catch. Excellent base running by Ruiz. And the Mets lead is down to 1.
Yeah, good job all around, as you say there, Tom. And give Juan Samuel some credit down there at third base, the coach, getting Ruiz back to tag up on that play. And not a fast runner, but Duda makes a remarkable play here because the wind takes that thing over, and then he jackknifes into the dugout. He does jump up and make a strong throw home. Here he is again to look at it. Now he totally jackknifes into the dugout, but he maintains his balance to the point where he can get back up. And there he goes. He tags up just in case. Good job all around. That's a good baseball play right there, both ends.
So now the tying run's over at third. And the pitch is in the dirt. It gets away for a moment from Recker, but give Black some credit because he came running down. And it just didn't get far enough for Dominic Brown to come back.
See, there's a difference what we were just talking about, how as a catcher you anticipate the breaking ball in the dirt, and the fastball you don't. So you're going to have more of a chance to block a ball in the dirt than the fastball that gets down on you real quick when you don't expect it.
One ball, no strikes to Cody Ashen. Out of play, and it's 1-1.
Had trouble with that slider and cutter in on him all day. Last time up with the bases loaded, they backdoored him then after throwing inside. Torres did a tremendous job on the Phillies left-handed hitters in this game of throwing that cutter and slider, back-footing them, and they were swinging over it or hitting weak ground balls to the right side. Now they're going to go away after establishing in.
And a called strike 3. Ashley's down looking for the second straight time. 3 strikeouts overall. The Phillies pull to within 1, and we go to the 9th. See insider player photos, watch behind-the-scenes videos, and get all the Phillies news as it breaks by following the Phillies on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Vine, Pinterest, and Google+. Top of the ninth inning, Mets are on top 4-3. Since it's a one-run game, they decided to bring in Jonathan Papelbon to keep it at a one-run game, or try to. And Wilfredo Tovar will lead things off.
There's the numbers on Papelbon and Tovar, the guy coming up right now. Lee had him 0-2, and he got the biggest hit of the game, really. There's a ball, the base hit to left field that scored a run that was overrun by Dominic Brown.
Our technical directors during the 2013 season, Mike Mulligan and Barry Sell. Barry was directing the other day. I don't know where Nick Marquetta was, but he was somewhere. So Barry took over the reins and guided the ship perfectly. That's some of the stuff that Barry and Mike have done. You just saw with that graphic exploding. Tovar's 1 for 3. Back toward the middle, another base hit for Tovar. This guy's supposed to be practicing with his winter ball team.
He's wearing number 70. That's usually a dead giveaway.
For all the graphics that we talk about, very difficult to build them all and put them up without the people that actually do that. Frank Gilbuena, Lisa, and Kim. All the stuff that you see, including that right there. And everything else that you see, numbers-wise, statistics, the Bloomberg stuff. Here are our production assistants, who we see throughout the ballpark on a daily basis. Swing and a miss by Dendecker, and it's 0-1. If you ever need to discuss fantasy football, Jimmy Salome, or if you need a haircut, he obviously is the person that you can talk to.
He's a fantasy baseball guru too. I don't know about football, but I know in baseball he wins every year.
But who's he playing against, Wheels? Who's he playing against?
I don't know. I don't ask him.
I'm just kidding.
He just sits up here and says who he made this trade. What do you think? And I said, I don't know. But it sounds like fun. Especially when he says he cashed again.
1-1 to Dendecker.
This year he said he was in trouble though at the end.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, he may not win his league.
Wheels, you can't buy your way to a championship every year like he does. He's got to build from the ground level.
He's pretty smart the way he does that stuff. Sounds like it. Or else he's got some dummies on the other end.
Gave Pete a haircut a couple days ago too. Pete had a full head of hair when he arrived at work a couple days ago. He had flowing locks. It was like Michael Stutz's hair. That's what Pete's looked like. He decided to clean it up for the winter. Swing and a miss, 2-2. Dendecker's hitting .231 with a home run and 6 RBIs. So Papelbon gets a strikeout, 1 away here in the ninth. Well, the Braves are 2 strikes away from assuring themselves the National League East, but they're only in the 6th inning. In Washington, the Miami Marlins are leading the Nationals 4-2.
Yeah, Steve Cishek, who has been so good lately, has Jason Worth up there and has a couple strikes on him, or 2 balls, 1 strike. So that's how close the Braves are. And that would be a really devastating loss for Washington too, with another game to play today. That's why the doubleheader. You know, you don't win many doubleheaders, and they won a make-up doubleheader the other day with that remarkable first game win that they had. Rays can celebrate. They certainly deserve to win the National League East. They were very good this year.
Off the end of the bat. There could be a play on this one. Here comes Dominic Brown, and it just drops between Brown and Ashe.
Parachute.
And of course, how could we forget Christine Connors, our stage manager? Christine doesn't know, but that camera which we've installed can find anything, including Christine in the back of the booth.
How could she not know that by now?
Really?
After all the things that thing finds.
She is the best, and we really appreciate everything that she does. There's the camera. Thank you, camera. We'll say thank you to the camera.
I like that camera.
That's a great camera.
Don't like that camera. That camera has, in this booth, has done a lot of crazy things.
Some of the shots that camera can take.
It's remarkable, that camera. Who's controlling that baby?
Popped up. Shallow left field. This is going to be a tough play. Ashe's out. He's got a bead on it. He makes the catch. Man, got to get to a spot.
Well, the wind's blowing it back. That's the thing about it. It's like a Wrigley Field game, the way the wind's going to knock the ball down out there. And you saw the game has been decided at this point by the wind taking the ball to right center field. Here it is right there. Now, Dominic Brown, that's an infielder's ball. You look where he catches it, 10 feet onto the grass.
That's with 11 hits today. Flores is one of them. He's 1 for 4.
You always love to celebrate championships, but there are better places to celebrate them than the clubhouse at Wrigley. That is tight quarters.
They might as well wait till they get on the plane.
They'd have more room.
Well, the Braves are officially the National League East champs.
Charlie Manu used to have that expression about whoever plays the best baseball will win. They played the best baseball in this division.
Yeah, it's not the best baseball since August 1st, which has been the Nationals.
No, but they got themselves into a spot where they could have a little lull. And that's what matters.
Tovar with his first major league stolen base. He's got some firsts that he's checked off today.
It's a body of work from April to the end of April to September, and you have your highs and lows. Cheat in the outfield a little bit now. The wind blowing in like this, and that's a big run at second base. Keep this to a one-run game at home. Papelbon's kicking all over the place out there in his landing spot. He's struggling with it.
That camera could find anything, and anyone too. Carl Graver, wave to the camera, Carl. It's our statistician.
Oh, he's thrilled about this. He really wanted that shot.
Oh, Beth, Carl, and Josh. Josh is the first ever Callis Award recipient. If you would have seen Carl a couple weeks ago, his hair was 3 times as long. We call him the unit because there is a resemblance to Randy Johnson from when Randy played.
Till he throws a baseball.
Right. What are you talking about, Carl? You can't throw a baseball?
Not like Randy Johnson. Carl does a great job for us.
Papelbon ready, the 2-2 pitch. Foul tip, and the side is retired. Well, he does allow a runner to get it to scoring position, but he makes sure he keeps this at a 1-run game. Can the Phillies find a little magic in their final home game of 2013? We'll see. With Lee's start and all of today's action. That's next on the Phillies postgame show, live from Sugar House Casino. Well, the Phillies in their final home game of 2013 are down by 1 going into the bottom of the 9th inning. It'll be Franzen and then Freddie Galvis. Take a look at our WB Mason delivery of the game.
Now, he went in there with his shirt, right?
He did.
However, when he leaves, the streaker appears. Still a great act.
Look at her. Yeah.
He don't want to look. This was the best.
Yeah. Tom Goodwin saying, "Oh man, what am I doing here?"
Goodwin covered his eyes. Their first base coach was off the side there, and he was on his way down, and coach first was like, "Oh no!" And that is our WB Mason delivery of the game.
Well, here's LaTroy Hawkins to pitch the bottom of the 9th inning. The wind is picked up even more. Now it's blowing almost straight in from center field. Kevin Franzen will lead it off here in the bottom of the 9th inning. As we mentioned, it'll be Franzen, then Galvis, it looks like. And then the top of the order, Cesar Hernandez. And Franzen lines one into right field, a base hit. Den Decker gets to it quickly. Franzen will be on board with the tying run. We'll see if they pinch run for him. As Galvis is walking to the plate.
Interesting to see the way they play this now, too. You bunt for a tie at home a lot of times. Just use your closer, though. Now, that doesn't mean that they won't, but we'll see. Especially with a hole open on the right side and a left-handed hitter up.
Well, maybe they might put Mayberry in the pinch run. He is quicker than Kevin is.
No, that's a good point about a pinch runner. Maybe gets in scoring position.
Or even Bernardino. So now Galvis. He squares and he bunts to Beauty to the right side. Duda picks it up and flips. So the tying run is now at second base.
Yeah, that's the difference between on the road and at home in a one-run game. You almost never bunt for a tie on the road, and you do at home a lot of times, and that's what they did right there.
One last mention before the Phillies and the Mets come to a close at some point today. The folks in engineering, they keep the truck going, not only here at Citizens Bank Park, but also on the road. All these guys, we'll see, just hanging around the truck, going back and forth, doing little different things. We've been using a new high definition truck, so it's been a little trickier. So thanks, guys, for all that you have done. Roger Bernardino will pinch run for Kevin Franzen.
Yeah, that's what they decided to do, was wait. If they got him into scoring position, then they'd run for him.
Cesar Hernandez is 1 for 4. He's singled back in the third. And that time is called.
Dendecker very deep and right side on the pull side. Young not a good thrower in left field, shaded towards the left field line, which would make sense. And also the center fielder, Lagares, huge gap in right center. They don't expect him to pull Hawkins.
Hernandez got a pretty good swing, and it's 0-1.
Two shots to tie this game up or more with two left-handed hitters now off Hawkins. He's in the game, although they do have a lefty up. He's probably up for Utley. Guy's still throwing the mid-90s. It's amazing how many bullets he still has left. And the Troy Hawk's been around a long time. Pitched a lot in this league, American League.
Biggest thing that they say about him is that he throws strikes, that he's not fiddling around out there. He goes right after the hitters.
He's been a really good pitcher for a long time with a number of teams. And when you hear about him, is he's a great teammate.
One ball, 2 strikes to Hernandez. Said, I just want to make sure, and then he covered up his mouth.
Yeah. With a runner at second, they want to make sure that they don't get confused on a sign and maybe bounce one up there and let the runner get to third, Bernardino, where a fly ball could tie the game. They want to make him earn it with a hit here.
Going on.
I don't think they think anything's going on at second, that they're giving location or anything like that. probably just telling Hawkins how long he's going to be there before he jumps in to play on the pull side. That's what he did, yeah. They were just making sure, and that's what it was. Because you could see Murphy, there was a timing thing involved there. He's going to jump away, and he's basically telling him, look, when I think you're going home, I'm out of that area. I'm going over to cover up the hole on the other side as much as I can. Interesting, too, they're using the second baseman.
And a foul tip, 2 outs. And now it's left to Jimmy Rollins in the final home game of 2013 to keep it alive, or maybe win it. Rollins is 1 for 3 today, doubled back in the 6th. One veteran to another, and it's on the inside corner. It's 0-1. Cliff Lee started this ball game. He pitched well today. Retired the first 9 he faced, struck out the first 3 he faced, finished with 8 strikeouts overall. Here's the 0-1 pitch coming to Rollins.
A real good jump right now. Can go on contact. Have an excellent chance to tie this game if you can get a base hit here. Bendecker really deep and right.
Here's the 1-2 pitch to Rollins. Inside, now 2-2. Rollins grounds it foul, and he's still alive. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Some of those guys probably wishing they get another chance up at the plate. It's up to Rollins to enable that. Hawkins ready, the 2-2. Way upstairs, 3-2. You wonder if they would go to the left-hander with Utley on deck.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about. They had a pitcher out there warming up.
I think it was Burdack, but I think he is stopped.
Yeah, he did. Stopped a while ago. So I guess they're telling you that it's Hawkins' game. And nobody out.
Three balls and 2 strikes. Crowd on their feet. And the pitch to Rollins. Swing and a miss. He got him. And the Mets have swept out the Phillies to finish up the home schedule. And the Phillies finish up 2013 at Citizens Bank Park with a record of 43-38 as they lose today 4-3 to the New York Mets. Well, Juan Lagares, who has been a thorn in the side of the Phillies all year long, is our Chevrolet player of the game. Look what he has done this year against the Phillies. A .419 batting average. Certainly isn't the case against everyone else around the National League. So the Phillies wrap up 2013 here at home. They've got 7 more games on the road. They lose it today by 1. We'll be back to talk more about it right after this.